My name is Victoria Winters. Two people will face a frightening fantasy of an existence out of the past. A young boy who believes that he can communicate with an apparition, and a missing girl who is unable to remember her true identity.
Josette? 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 Josette, is that you?
Someone calls me?
Josette, it's me.
Who are you?
It's me, David. David Collins.
David Collins? I know that name. David Collins.
Well, of course you know me. But you haven't seen me in a long time. Where did you go?
Away. Very far away.
Where?
I've been to a place of death. But I've come back.
I'm so glad that you've come back.
Where am I?
Well, you're in your house.
In my house?
Sure.
I lived here,
A long, long time ago.
and I've come back to live here.
Well, I was afraid that you'd never come back.
I had to come back. I don't know why, but I had to come back.
I'm glad that you have. What's that?
Music. Yes, it's music from my music box.
I like it.
It was a gift from someone. It's playing a melody from long ago.
It sounds very nice.
I listened to it over and over, all through the dark night.
You know something, Josette? This is the longest amount of time that you've ever spent talking to me.
Is it?
Yes. Most of the times you just say a few words. And sometimes you didn't even say anything.
I don't remember.
But now you're really talking.
Yes, I want to talk. There's something that I must say.
What is it?
I can't think. I can't remember.
Well, was it important?
Yes,
Well, you've got to try to remember.
I'll try.
If you can't remember it now, maybe you'll be able to remember it next time.
The next time.
You will be able to talk to me like this again, won't you?
Yes, we will talk. Again and again.
I remember so many times I used to come and call you, but you wouldn't answer me. When I come and call you, will you answer me?
Yes, I'll answer you.
I used to stand right here and stare up to the portrait of you. And I guess you didn't hear me.
Painting of me?
Yes, the one that used to hang over the mantel.
Painting? A painting of me?
Yes, it's upstairs. You know, the one that's in your bedroom.
I've seen that painting. Something about the face. What is it about the face?
Why, it's your face. I love that painting so much. I was really very sad when they took it down. I even cried.
You cried?
Yes. But now that I know where it is, I feel much happy. Much happier. This is the painting that'll be hanging there from now on, in its place. It's being painted by Mr. Evans.
Evans? I know that name.
Sure, that's the man painting this portrait.
Evans.
That's Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas Collins. Barnabas Collins.
He's my cousin. He lives here now. He's the one that's fixing everything up.
No. No.
What's the matter, Josette?
No. No.
What is it? You look frightened. Why are you frightened?
Barnabas. Barnabas.
Why are you so frightened, Josette? Why?
David? David, are you in there?
David, open this door.
Josette! Josette, where are you? Where have you gone? Josette, where did you go? Where did you go?
David? David?
David, if you're inside, you'd better open this door.
Hi, Vicky. Hello, Father.
We knew you'd be here.
Yes, because you were told not to. Where is Barnabas? Have you seen him?
No.
I thought I heard you talking to someone.
I wasn't talking to anybody.
Is Willie Loomis here?
I haven't seen him.
I know why you came here. You came looking for your ghostly friends.
No.
You came looking for Josette, didn't you?
No.
David, why do you lie to me? I know that's your main interest in this place. All right. Have you seen Josette?
No.
David, are you sure that Josette wasn't in this room?
Wouldn't I tell you if she had been here?
Yes, I suppose you would.
Well, hello, Barnabas. I'm afraid your household is filled with uninvited guests.
So I see.
I hope you will excuse our little trespass.
Miss Winters
Hello, Mr. Collins.
and David. So we meet again for the second time tonight.
I guess so.
I'm afraid David has had to make another visit, and I am furious about it.
Have you, David?
Yes.
Your fondness for this house is insatiable.
I intend to keep his fondness in better control.
Had you come to visit me,
Sort of.
or had you come to find someone else?
The truth, David.
Well, I wanted to see Josette again.
And did you see her?
No.
You're quite sure?
Yes.
Did you go upstairs?
No, sir.
I'm terribly sorry about this. It won't happen again.
No harm done.
Ah, your portrait is coming right along.
Thank you. Mr. Evans wasn't able to work on it this week, as you can well imagine.
Yes, of course. How remarkably like the other portrait of the other Barnabas it is.
Yes, remarkably. Don't you think so, David?
Barnabas Collins.
Why do you say my name in such a curious fashion?
Oh, no reason at all. I want to go home now.
It's about time you thought of that.
Yes, I think we'd better go. I hope we haven't inconvenienced you. Good night, Barnabas.
Good night, Mr. Collins.
Good night, Miss Winters. Roger. And a very special good night to you, David.
Good night, Barnabas.
Josette, there were people in the house.
People?
Yes. Did you see them?
I don't remember.
Are you sure?
Music.
I want you to remember this. No one is to see you. No one is to see you. Do you understand that?
No one is to see me. No one is to see me.
If anyone comes to the house, you're to stay up here.
Stay here. But why can't they see me?
They wouldn't understand that you are Josette.
They wouldn't understand. Why?
Because you resemble someone else. They might call you by that other name.
What other name?
They might call you Maggie Evans.
Evans. Evans.
Your name is Josette. Josette Collins.
My name is Josette Collins. I'm Josette Collins.
You have always been Josette Collins. No matter what anyone says, you have always been Josette Collins.
I have always been Josette Collins. No one else. I am Josette. I am Josette Collins.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
I'm Sheriff Patterson. I wondered if I might talk with you for a few minutes.
Yes, won't you come in?
Thank you. I've been hoping to see you ever since I heard you were in town.
Well, thank you. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
I understand that you paid a visit here the other day when I was out.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry to take so long in getting back, but I've been rather busy.
Yes, I heard about the search. How is it going? Have you been able to find any trace of her?
No, unfortunately, we haven't had a break in the case yet.
You came here to talk about Willie Loomis, I presume?
Is he here?
No, I sent him on an errand to Bangor.
You know the kind of man he is?
Well, if you're referring to the acts he committed before he came into my employ, yes, I do know that. I know everything about him.
That he has a police record?
That, too.
He said that you could substantiate his whereabouts on the night that Miss Evans disappeared.
Yes, I can.
You know where he was the whole time? Between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. the next morning?
Yes. He spent part of the evening here, and then he drove into Bangor. As you know, I'm restoring the house, and he had to pick up some fabrics for me early the next morning.
I see. Well, that takes care of that night. Well, let's go back 2 nights prior to the first time that Miss Evans disappeared, the time that she was found wandering in the cemetery. On that night, you sent Willie Loomis to the Evans house with a message.
That's correct.
How long was he gone from here?
Oh, about the time it takes to go from here to the Evans cottage and back. Shall we say half an hour at the most?
And are you willing to sign a sworn affidavit testifying to that?
Certainly.
I see. Well, I guess that's all for now, then. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Well, you're entirely welcome.
What's that?
Oh, that's an old music box I've been restoring. The mechanism was just wound up when you knocked.
Sounds pretty good.
The starting mechanism needs my instant attention. Apparently, it couldn't take the tension of the mainspring. Well, let me know if I can be of any further help to you.
Yes, I will, Mr. Collins. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
David, I simply cannot have that happen again. You were cautioned earlier this evening rather, and then you went right out and deliberately disobeyed us.
I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
I wish I could believe that.
You can't. Honest.
Vicky, will you have David write the word honest and its definition 50 times tomorrow?
Thanks a lot.
Come on, David, go up to bed now.
Good night, David.
Good night.
David, there's something I want you to tell me.
Sure.
What did you really see done at the old house tonight?
Nothing.
Come on, David. You can fool your father, but you can't fool me. Did you see Josette?
No.
David, that room smelled of jasmine. Now, I want the truth. Did you see Josette?
Well, do you promise you won't tell anybody?
Yes, I promise.
I did, and it was great.
What do you mean?
Well, she was different this time. She stayed with me for a long time. We talked a lot.
What about?
All about how she'd gone away and that she was back now and she'd come to see me again.
Do you mean that you actually had a conversation with her?
Yep. And she couldn't remember something. But she tried to tell me.
It's very strange.
And there was even a little music box. She was really different this time. She even cried.
Why did she cry?
I don't know. When I asked her, she just cried more. And then she disappeared.
I don't understand this at all.
Well, you won't tell anyone, will you?
No, of course I won't, David. You better run upstairs now. Go to bed.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hello, Vicky.
Come in.
Thank you.
Good evening, Sheriff. Is there anything wrong?
No, I was just on the property, so I thought I would drop over and let you know what's happening with the search for Maggie Evans.
Well, what is happening?
Well, unfortunately, not enough to keep up the pace of the search. I'm going to have to cut down on the number of men involved, and so are the state and county police.
But aren't there any clues?
No, not a one. I haven't found a single thing, and I've just had to give up on my best suspect.
Willie Loomis?
Yes. Barnabas Collins has accounted for his whereabouts during the time in question. He's going to sign a sworn affidavit to that effect.
Well, surely Loomis knows something.
Well, there's nothing that I can do. Unless someone gives me some evidence that contradicts what Barnabas Collins has said, there's nothing I can do. I have no lead. I have no clue. I have no case.
Well, this is terrible. A girl just doesn't simply disappear without a trace.
Sheriff, what are you going to do next?
Well, if she doesn't turn up soon, we're going to have to abandon the search. Unless something turns up that gives us a lead.
Well, how do you feel?
Vicky, the possibility continues to grow that Maggie Evans is dead.
Little boy. Little boy. I need you. I need you.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. The sun that rose blood-red at dawn hangs brightly over the countryside, but even its fierce glare is not able to reveal the hidden secrets that mystify the finest minds. And even the darkness of the night past did not hide the fear these mysteries inspire. Unconquered by darkness and by light, indifferent to the assaults of the rational mind, terror and mystery continue their terrible union, creating an ever-deepening mystery, an ever-darkening terror.
Yeah? Oh, send him right in.
Dave,
Hello, Bert.
I need your help.
What's the matter?
It's not me, it's Sam Evans.
Oh, I see.
I just left his house. He's about to go over the deep end any minute.
Look, I've done everything I can for Sam. Sedatives, advice, talk, even threats.
There's only one thing that's going to save Sam, and you know what that is.
I know. Find Maggie.
That's right.
Don't you think I'm doing everything I can?
Oh, of course you are. I see. Dave, but, well, can't you give me something to tell Sam, something that would give him some kind of hope?
Look, I just don't have anything new that would be a basis for a reasonable hope.
I heard you were taking blood samples.
Yeah?
Maggie's blood.
Yeah, but a blood sample isn't going to help us find Maggie.
Then what is it going to do?
Well, it may help us find out what's wrong with her so that when we find her, we'll know how to treat her.
And do you know what's wrong with her?
Not yet. Do you know, I got a feeling that I'm getting closer and closer to finding out.
I told Sam I'd stop back tonight for a game of chess. You know, keep his mind off of everything. If I could tell him what it was that was wrong with Maggie, well, he might
think that some kind of progress was being made.
It's too soon to say anything yet.
But if you're about to make a diagnosis of what...
I hope I'm about to. I've made slides from the sample of Maggie's blood, and I'm going to get Hoffman, one of the best men in the field, to come and examine them.
You think he'll know after he examines the slides?
Maybe.
You don't look very hopeful, Dave.
I just don't understand all
What?
this.
Maggie's disappearance? Her illness? Or what?
Take it easy now, Burke. Just sit down. Of course I don't understand the disappearance. But there's things in those slides that I understand even less.
But if this Hoffman is such a top-flight doctor, well, what's the problem?
Well, suppose he sees only what I see.
And what's that?
Well, you wouldn't understand the technical terms even if I told him to you.
Which you are not about to do.
Look, Burke, for what it's worth, I'll tell you this much right now. Up to this point, those slides indicate that there's a pretty heavy skirmish going on between Maggie's red and white corpuscles. But then...
Then what?
There's something else going on in Maggie's blood that... Well, it's got me completely baffled.
And you think that Hoffman will be just as baffled?
Yeah, to be frank. He's a fine doctor. He's the best I know. But there's something going on here that...
Go on, Dave. Go on.
Look, Burke, I am a doctor. I think of myself as a rational man.
And you think you found something here beyond the rational?
No, of course not. Probably be... Oh, it'll just turn out to be something I'm not familiar with. Hoffman will probably clear it up.
That's not what you really think, is it, Dave?
It's what I think until I know otherwise. Now, look here. There is no such thing as a mystery in science. It's just ignorance. The fact that we aren't able to put a name to Maggie's ailment simply means that we don't have the proper knowledge.
You sound like a man trying to talk himself into something he doesn't believe.
No, there is no mystery here now, I'm telling you. It's just not possible.
Well, if it's not possible, then why are you trying so hard to get rid of the idea?
Hoffman will know what it is. I know he will. He'll be able to explain everything.
I hope so.
Burke, I tell you what I want you to do. I want you to come back by here on your way to Sam's before the chess game. I think by then I'll be able to give you a partial answer, and you can pass it on to Sam. You know, I think every step towards solving this mystery, towards completing this diagnosis, should be a help to Sam. You'll do that, huh? Come by here before you go to his place?
Yeah. Sure, I will.
All right.
See you later. Dave.
Yeah?
For a man of science, the important thing is getting at the truth, isn't it?
Of course.
Well, from the beginning, Maggie's illness has been a mystery. And her disappearance, well, no one knows anything about that. Now, maybe something, like a blood sample. When you examine it under the microphone, it doesn't show any mystery at all. But suppose it does. Suppose it indicates that something so extraordinary is happening that mysterious is the only word to use. Shouldn't you use that word?
Not yet. After Hoffman takes his look at it, well, there might be other words more appropriate even.
Not mysterious.
Frightening, for example.
Oh?
Even terrifying, perhaps. Closest of all, impossible.
I
don't see why Peterson came to you if he had any questions about the accounts.
Because I happened to be in the office at the time.
Well, if he wanted explanations, he should have called on me.
Oh, Liz, that is beside the point.
All I'm saying is that Peterson shouldn't have discussed financial matters with you.
All right, maybe he shouldn't. But I think for the moment you should.
Talk to you about money matters? Well, I never have, and I'm not going to start now.
I'm sorry, Liz. I'm not going to let it drop that easily. Large sums of money have been withdrawn, and for no apparent reason.
Roger, you know nothing about the accounts.
I know what Peterson said. He said that he cannot audit the books properly, the shape they're in now.
All right. I'll get them in shape, and that will settle the matter.
Perhaps as far as Peterson is concerned, but not as far as I'm concerned. Liz, I know you're in some kind of trouble.
Stop it, Roger. Stop it at once, and I mean it.
So do I. I am not trying to pry for the sake of prying.
There's nothing to pry into.
I don't agree.
Oh, so I've been a little careless with my procedures lately. Is that difficult to understand? I haven't been well, and I haven't been feeling myself lately.
I know. Ever since Jason McGuire came back to Collinwood. I'm sorry, Liz. I cannot pretend ignorance any longer.
What are you talking about?
I don't pretend to know what's happening here, but I have some ideas of my own. And one of them is that this money is being paid to McGuire.
That's ridiculous.
Is it?
Too ridiculous to even discuss.
Liz! Sit down, dear. I know what it's like to be at the mercy of someone who knows some terrible secret. Liz, please listen. I know that if I had come to you in the beginning and told you that I was responsible for Devlin going to prison, maybe you wouldn't have been able to help. But at least I wouldn't have felt trapped in a private nightmare.
Then you think I'm being blackmailed by Jason, is that it?
Yes, I do. I don't know what hold this man has over you, but I feel sure that you have some secret.
What are you talking about?
All right. You have a key on a chain around your neck.
That's hardly a secret.
And it's to a room in the basement.
That's not a secret either.
A room that none of us is allowed to go near.
I told you why.
Because it is where you have put your husband's belongings when he left here 18 years ago.
That is right. So what exactly is the secret?
I'm not sure. Is it in that room?
I've told you what's in that room, and I think it's cruel of you to remind me.
I don't want to be cruel, Liz.
Then why this talk about Paul and secrets in the room?
Because there is a secret. I don't know what it is, but McGuire does, and he's using it against you.
There is no secret, and Jason is using nothing against me. Roger, I don't understand you. A few entries are made in an account book, and suddenly I'm accused and attacked.
I'm not accusing you of anything. I told you all I want to know is what's happening so that I can help you, or at least stand by you.
There is nothing happening, and I don't want you to stand by me. All I want you to do is leave me alone.
Liz, please.
Roger, I beg of you. Leave me alone, please. I beg of you. I'm sorry to interrupt your afternoon's relaxation, but I want to talk to you about a business matter.
Oh, can't it wait, my dear?
I'm afraid not.
Because I was just recalling a picnic we were on together long, long ago. And you were just about to pour the wine. Hate to be interrupted at a moment like that.
I'll try to be brief.
The wine, as I recall, was superb. And there was a toast.
Jason, I've just been talking to the office in town.
Yes, I was just about to remember the words of that toast. Now, what were they?
I said I have just been talking to the office in town.
Oh?
And the situation cannot continue as it has.
Ah, you don't have to say another word, my dear. There have been complaints, huh?
How did you know?
Well, I've been expecting them.
Are you sure you know what I'm talking about?
Of course. There have been complaints about my not being in the office. And I am, after all, on the payroll as a consultant in public relations.
That's not quite it.
Oh? Something else? Because I was about to say that The most important thing about public relations is imagination. And my imagination's been hard at work all along.
I'm sure it has. But it's a bit more serious than that.
Oh? Well, then I can't imagine what it might be.
I had my accountant transfer considerable sums to a bank in Switzerland.
Ah, yes. And you have my thanks for your generosity.
And I cannot possibly transfer any more.
You know, I think I can remember the toast I made at the picnic that day.
Don't pretend you didn't hear me.
It had something to do about a tree blossoming in a field nearby.
I cannot give you any more money under any circumstances.
Now, was it a peach tree? Or was it an apple?
I've done all I can to meet your demands, and I think you know that.
It was a peach, I think. Yes, in full blossom.
But if I continue, the entire matter will be exposed, and I'm sure that's not to your liking, nor to mine.
Yes, peach. Peach blossom.
Did you hear me?
Oh, my. The words. Now, what were the words? Now, there was the picnic and the wine.
Maybe you think I'm not serious, but I assure you that I am.
Oh, I know that you are.
Then please act as if you did.
Now, dear, I don't like to be rude, but it would mean a great deal to me if I could just remember the words that I said that day.
I think it's a little more important that you remember the words that I said just now.
Oh, I'll remember them. I promise you.
And it goes without saying, I cannot deposit any more money for you under any circumstances.
Lovely is the blossom on the springtime tree.
Stop it. We were never on a picnic together, never.
Liz, dear, how could you ever forget?
I know you're just stalling for time, trying to think of some way to force me to give you more money.
Liz.
But I can tell you right now, it won't work. I'm not going to give you any more money, not 1 cent, and that's final. Is that clear?
Perfectly.
Nothing you can say or do or threaten will change it.
Well, if that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be.
What are you up to?
I'm trying to remember a toast.
You know what I mean.
My dear, you mean the money.
Exactly.
Well, if you can't, you can't. I should just have to resign myself.
Do you expect me to believe that?
My dear, you do me an injustice. I'm a very, very reasonable man and extremely agreeable.
You're up to something, Jason.
I'm up to nothing.
What is it?
I'm up to nothing, my darling.
You're not reasonable, you're not agreeable, and I'm not your darling.
Well, now, time will tell. Perhaps on all 3 counts.
Don't be revolting.
Revolting? Not a bit. I'm still your very good and loyal friend.
I don't know what all this means, Jason, and I don't care as long as one thing is clear. There'll be no more money.
Liz, dear.
Yes?
I never finished my toast. Lovely is the blossom on the springtime tree, but lovelier still are the fruits to come with the seasons changing. I drink to that future season, and to the rewards to come in the ripeness of time.
I've just talked to Peterson. The accounts are all straightened out.
Good.
Roger,
Yes?
I'm sorry I was so angry with you before.
Oh, it's all right. I guess I shouldn't have said some of the things I said to you. But I had to.
Please, let's not start all over again.
Yes. Let's don't.
But Roger,
Yes?
I know it's because of your concern for me.
I know I've seldom acted a brother to you. I've given you so little help.
Don't, Roger.
But you are my sister. Liz, can't you tell me?
No. No, I can't.
I'm your brother, Liz.
Oh, if you care for me, please, there are no more questions.
I can't help you,
No.
and there's nothing I can do.
Yes.
What is it?
You can stand by me.
You know I will.
I do need you, Roger. Sometimes I'm so frightened and lonely. But if you say you'll stand by me, no matter what, then perhaps I won't be so frightened or quite so lonely.
But who could have done it?
Oh, look, the place is torn apart. It's a wreck.
Did anyone in the office see who it was?
I was out on house calls. I came back to the office for a moment and found it like this. It's really terrible, you know. I was expecting Hoffman to be by.
Well, I hope he doesn't need this microscope to look at those slides.
There are no slides.
What? You mean they were smashed too?
Worse than smashed. They're gone. They're gone. I tell you, I've looked all over the office. They're not here.
Were they stolen?
You know, when a doctor comes and finds his office in a state like this, the first thought he has is a narcotics robbery. Kind of a job that some poor benighted addict would try. But this is different. Very different.
In what way?
Well, it's a robbery, but what was taken was...
Slides.
And the sample of Maggie's blood. As far as my being able to help Maggie now, to find out what's wrong with her, I haven't got anything left to work on. Nothing.
And that's all that was taken?
Yes.
Then, to steal those slides and the blood sample is why all this happened?
Yes, and do you realize what this means? It means that Maggie never left that office under her own power. She was taken. The same person who did all this.
But who?
I don't know who, but whoever it was a madman.
How do you know?
Well, look at this window. Look where he came through. Look at these bars. They're twisted like pipe cleaners. Whatever man it was had a kind of supernatural strength. Strength that only madness can give.
Steal. Blood sample. Slides.
I think it's about time that we describe this case in the terms that it deserves. Terrifying. Impossible.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. Collinwood, even by daylight, can seem a menacing and dangerous place, for there are many unsolved mysteries here. And those who seek to solve them, to uncover the secrets of the great house, can be in grave danger. One man, unaware of the danger that exists in the shadows of the old house, is determined to seek out the truth.
Mr. Loomis, do you remember me?
Why, yeah, you're the doctor who came to look at me when I was sick.
That's right. How are you feeling now?
Well, I'm okay. Why?
Well, I'd like to examine your wounds again.
What for?
Well, I want to be satisfied that they're healing properly.
They're okay, now I don't need a doctor.
Well, I'd like to make sure myself. Let me examine them. It'll only take a minute. Oh, and I'd also like to get a sample of your blood.
Blood?
That's right, for my records.
No. You go away. Please, go away! Please, you go away.
But why?
I didn't call you. I don't need a doctor.
Mr. Loomis, I've already been consulted. Now, all I want to do is re-examine your wounds and make sure that they're healing properly.
Oh, I'm fine, honest.
You may not be as well as you think you are.
Why do you say that?
Because I have another patient whose symptoms greatly resemble yours. And it turns out, unfortunately, that she's suffering from a very strange blood disorder. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but I do think that I ought to examine you again.
Who are you talking about?
Maggie Evans.
I see.
All I want to be sure of is that you're not suffering from the same thing. That's why I think that an examination is absolutely necessary. Now, surely you must understand that.
I don't know.
Of course you understand it. You don't want to be sick, do you?
No.
All right, then just give me your hand. I'll get a small sample of blood, just a couple of drops. Won't take a
No!
minute. Mr. Loomis!
I don't need to be examined. I feel fine.
Well, possibly you are all right.
I don't
That's what
want
I'm
to
here
be
to find
examined now.
out.
Please. I feel fine.
You may feel fine, but...
I told you, I don't want an examination, and I don't need an examination, so go away.
I don't understand your attitude at all.
Wait a minute, listen.
To what?
I thought I heard... What time is it?
It's about 6:30. Now what?
You better go now. The sun is setting. It'll be dark soon.
Well, I don't happen to be afraid of the dark. I must say you're behaving very strangely.
There's nothing you can do for me, so... Barnabas.
Hello, Willie. I see we have a visitor.
I'm Dr. Woodard, Dave Woodard. I guess you're Barnabas Collins, eh?
That's right. Well, what brings you here, Doctor? Is someone ill?
I am not sure.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
Well, Mr. Collins, I have another patient who, unfortunately, is suffering from a rare blood disease. Mr. Loomis shows some of the same symptoms, so I thought reasonably that I should come and examine him. But he won't let me, and I don't understand why.
Why won't you let the doctor examine you, Willie?
Because I'm not sick. I'm okay. Now, you tell him I'm okay.
Well, I can tell you that Willie seems to be in good health. He does the work of 3 men around this place.
Nevertheless, he could be suffering from an infectious disease. The examination is only for your own good.
You'd better let him examine you, Willie.
No. No.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Please, let me go to my room.
All right, then. I apologize for Willie. He's the finest servant I ever had. But he tends to be nervous and upset.
He seems to be absolutely terrified of me. It doesn't make sense.
Perhaps he's terrified of all doctors. There are people like that, you know. Those who have strange superstitions about the practice of medicine.
I assume you're not one of them. You understand that I'm only trying to help him.
Yes, of course.
I would ask you, if you would, please, to use your influence with him. Try to persuade him to come to my office. It could be very important.
Well, I'll certainly have a talk with Willie.
Thank you.
But of course, if he still refuses to see you, I can't force him to go. I can't force him to do anything against his will.
Violets? Why are you giving me these?
Well, you used to say violets were your favorite flower. So, Liz, I saw them and I thought of you. So I bought them for you.
Why?
Well, perhaps only to prove that I have a good memory. You know, I remember a great many things about you from the old days.
Do you?
Oh, yes, a great deal. And most of my memories are fond memories.
What's behind all this, Jason?
Behind what?
This act you're putting on.
Am I putting on an act?
We both know you're only interested in yourself and what you can get out of me.
Oh, now, Liz, you judge me much too harshly.
I know you much too well to be deceived by this ridiculous act you're putting on, games you're playing.
Oh, really? Well, now, was I playing a game yesterday?
I didn't understand you yesterday.
Well, you brought me a problem. You said that our little financial arrangement could no longer go on. And I agreed with you.
So you did.
Believe it or not, Liz, I am very fond of you.
I don't believe that, and I never will.
Oh, shall I get it?
This is still my house.
Oh, now, Liz, I'm merely trying to be of service to you.
Good evening, Mrs. Stoddard.
Oh, Dr. Woodard, what brings you here?
I was wondering, is Mr. McGuire at home?
Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
Could I speak with him for a moment?
You wish to see me, Doctor?
Oh, Mr. McGuire, yes, I do. It'll only take a minute or two.
Well, come in, come in.
Thank you, Mrs. Stoddard.
Please, sit down, Doctor.
Oh, thanks again.
Well, now, what can I do for you?
Mr. McGuire, you can give me some information about your friend, Willie Loomis.
Willie Loomis?
Yes.
What about him?
Well, now, as I remember, it was you that tended him when he was sick a while back. And I thought that probably you'd know more about his symptoms than anyone else. It seems to me that you told me at that time that he was most ill during the days and that his strength returned at night. Is that right?
That's right. He was much better at night. I never figured out why.
How much better?
Amazingly better. He got up and walked around. He even went out of the house.
But during the days, his illness would return.
Oh, yes. He was so weak, he could barely move.
I still think he was pretending to be ill.
Well, you know, I thought that he was faking myself for a while. But I don't think so now. What about it, Doctor?
Well, his symptoms coincide exactly with those of Maggie Evans.
Yes. Yes, I know. And it's odd, isn't it?
They must have the same disease.
Well, it's more than odd, Mr. McGuire. It could be very dangerous for your friend.
Dangerous?
I had the opportunity to study a sample of Maggie Evans' blood. It contained, certain impurities.
Impurities?
Strange cells. I don't know what they were. I'd never seen anything like them.
And you think that Willie might have this disease?
Well, I don't know, but it's highly possible. He refuses to be examined.
Why?
Well, he hasn't given me a logical explanation, Mrs. Stoddard. He simply announced to me that he didn't need an examination.
Yes, well, as I remember, he didn't want to be examined before, either.
Well, for all I know, this situation could blossom into into epidemic proportions, and I wouldn't know the first thing about how to treat it. I don't really know what this sickness is. You see, the blood sample from Maggie Evans was stolen from my office.
Stolen?
Yes, somebody broke into my office and stole it. The sample itself, the slides I'd made from it, every record of Maggie's case, gone.
Why would anyone want to steal samples of blood?
I haven't the vaguest idea, but whoever it was a person of enormous strength. My office has been ransacked so it looks as if it had been ravaged by a madman.
But, Doctor, why?
Well, the police don't know the answer to that, so I certainly don't. But what I must know the answer to is the nature of this disease. You understand that there's a possibility that your friend Loomis could be suffering from the same thing. So if you could somehow prevail on him to consent to an examination, you'd be doing not only him, but all of us a great favor.
No. I doubt that Willie would listen to anything I have to say. We are not close friends any longer.
I see. Well, perhaps Barnabas Collins can get him to listen. He said he'd speak to him.
Oh, well, in that case, you have nothing to worry about. I've never known Willie to take orders from anyone, but he seems to take them from Barnabas Collins.
I'm sure Barnabas will order him to be examined.
Well, nevertheless, Barnabas Collins himself made the remark that even he couldn't order Willie to do anything.
Barnabas said that?
Yes. I certainly hope he changes his mind.
Well, I'll see to it that he does.
You know, there's some connection between Willie Loomis and Maggie Evans. I don't know what it is yet, but I cannot get it out of my head that there is a connection.
Yes, that's right. I've thought about that.
Well, I've thought about nothing else for the last few days. There's so many things going on that are totally inexplicable. Well, Maggie's illness itself, that's one. Then the symptoms she showed, they don't mean anything, don't point in any direction. And then, of course, the fact that she walks in her sleep and is found in a graveyard.
Yes, I remember. They found her in that graveyard on Eagle Hill, didn't they?
That's right. There's a pattern to all of these events. I can't discern what that pattern is yet. But it's what has me going out of my mind.
Yes. Strange. Very strange. Mr. McGuire? Oh, Mr. Collins. I didn't hear you open the door. I thought no one was at home.
I'm sorry if I startled you.
Is Willie here?
Willie? No, he's out.
At this hour?
I sent him out on an errand.
Oh, I see. Well, could I speak to you for a moment?
Of course. Come in.
Thank you.
What did you want to see me about?
Oh, about Willie. I'm worried about him.
Why?
Well, I had a talk with Dr. Woodard, and he seems to feel that Willie might have a disease of the blood, but he refuses to be examined.
I promised the doctor that I would talk with Willie, and I will.
Ah, well, now, if you're firm with him, I'm sure you can get him to the doctor. He seems to do anything you ask him to.
Well, I can't order him to go, but I can suggest it, and I will.
You know, it's odd about you and Willie.
What is?
Well, you know, I've never known Willie to take orders from anyone in his life. And yet he seems to take them from you.
He's been a very faithful servant to me, the best I ever had.
Tell me, just to refresh my memory, how was it that you and Willie met?
On the road. My car broke down, and he helped me fix it.
Oh, yes, that's right. And you struck up a conversation.
Yes. He told me he was looking for a job, and I had one for him. Why?
Well, it just seems a strange coincidence.
What is?
Well, Willie's going to work for you. A man whose ancestors fascinated him.
Willie, fascinated by my ancestors?
Oh, didn't he tell you?
No, he never mentioned it.
Oh, and he knew all about them. He even read a book about them. It struck me as odd, since I've never known him to read a book in his whole life.
Well, I'm glad that he finds my family so fascinating.
He was especially fascinated by the ancestor you resemble so much. The portrait that hangs in Collinwood, the one of Barnabas Collins.
Was he?
Yes, I imagine it was quite a shock to Willie when he met you. Your resemblance to that portrait is amazing.
Well, members of my family tend to look alike.
Did Willie ever mention the cemetery?
Cemetery?
Yes, the one up on Eagle Hill. A lot of your ancestors are buried there. But then I suppose you know all about that.
I've heard of it.
Yes, and you've never been there?
No, but I must go sometime.
Oh, you should. It's a very interesting place.
Have you been there?
Oh, yes. Willie got me interested in it, and so I went up there and took a look at your family, too.
How odd. Well, graveyards don't fascinate most people.
Well, this one does. Especially me.
Really?
Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Oh, do try to get Willie to go to the doctor.
I will. Good night, Mr. McGuire.
Good night, Mr. Collins. Liz,
What is it?
how much do you know about your cousin Barnabas?
Why do you ask that?
Well, it strikes me that he's a fairly curious fellow.
Curious in what way?
Well, I don't know. There's a great many strange things. For instance, well, his appearance. When you weren't even aware that he existed.
He's from the English branch of the family.
And he's staying up there in that old house. Now, that strikes me as strange.
He feels that old house is part of his heritage. Besides, what business is it of yours?
Well, there are just so many unanswered questions. How did he get Willie to work for him? And why did he want Willie to work for him?
He needed a servant. I admit his choice was odd, but that's his business.
Well, I don't know. Something just doesn't add up.
What are you trying to say?
But I don't know exactly. Something about your cousin bothers me.
That's because you can't understand or appreciate a gentleman.
Yes, well, I can't understand him, that's for sure.
Can we drop this conversation? I don't intend to discuss my cousin with you.
Liz, dear, why must your tone always be so angry?
I mean it.
Well, all right. We have much more important matters to discuss.
Such as?
Well, we each have problems, and we should find a solution for them.
My only problem is you.
Well, now, Elizabeth, that's not quite true. You have other problems, too.
None that loom as large.
Well, I don't know. You have the problem of your standing in the community. That worries me very much, you know.
My standing in the community?
Yes, well, you've always been above reproach. And I know it looks bad for you to have a strange man living in this house for such an extended period of time.
You don't care what it looks like.
No, but you do. Now, you know how you dread a scandal is. And people are already beginning to talk about us. You said so yourself.
Well, they'd stop talking if you'd go away.
Well, no, unfortunately, that's not possible. You see, my source of income has been cut off.
So that's it. Another request for money.
Oh, no, I know you can't give me any money without causing talk. No, I realize your position fully.
Do you?
Oh, yes, that's why I'm not asking you for any more money. Because I don't want people asking questions any more than you do.
Then what do you want?
Well, as I told you, a solution which will satisfy both of us. One that will, well, stop people from talking and at the same time satisfy my needs.
There's only one solution, and that's for you to go away.
I know. There's another, and I've thought about it very carefully, and it's one that I am sure will be very good for both of us.
What is it?
We're going to get married.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. A secret from the past can exert a strong control over a woman. It can force her to do things that otherwise might be considered impossible. It can cause a woman to make the most difficult decision of her existence.
You look surprised, Liz. But I'm sure when you think it over, you will realize it's the only possible solution to your problems.
You can't mean it.
Oh, yes, I've thought it over very carefully. And it's my considered opinion that the best possible thing for us to do is to get married.
Jason, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Funny, is it?
More than funny, it's absurd.
And I think you should consider that suggestion much more seriously.
I've never appreciated your humor before.
It is not humor, Liz. It's not funny and it's not absurd. I'm telling you as seriously as I can, there's going to be a wedding between us.
You can't be serious.
Oh, can't I?
Why, it's impossible.
Is it?
I'd die before I married you.
Well, now, Liz, let's hope you don't have to go that far.
If you're serious about this, then you're madder than I thought you were.
Oh, but I am serious, Liz. And I'm not mad. There's a practicality here that could work for both of us.
The thought of being married to you is inconceivable.
Why is it?
Well, the most obvious reason I can think of is that I detest you.
So, you detest the man who pulled you through the greatest crisis of your life. Oh, you'd like to forget the bad things, wouldn't you? You'd like to forget the man who helped you, because it's embarrassing to you, isn't it?
Can't we close the book on what happened 18 years ago?
That book will always remain open, as long as Paul Stoddard is missing. People are still wondering what happened to him, you know. Where did he go? Oh, where has Paul Stoddard gone? Oh, where can he be?
Stop it.
Well, we could give them the answer to that one, you and me. Huh? We could give them the answer now, couldn't we, Liz?
Yes, we could.
But the answer to that one would cause things to happen. Cataclysmic things, like investigations, diggings, autopsies, post-mortems, indictments, trials, scandal, and eventually prison.
And what you're saying is that if I don't marry you, you'll expose me.
Liz, you have such an unpleasant way of putting things.
It's true, isn't it?
Well, now, I come from a home where justice was considered important, and I still believe in it. But we are faced here with a situation where a great deal can be lost when justice triumphs over evil. So perhaps we could make it clearer if we were to define exactly what evil really is.
I think a quick glance in the mirror might answer that for you.
Oh? But would it, Liz? Why not look in the mirror together and see what it has to tell us? The mirror of this house, in fact. I see a reflection of a night 18 years ago. I see myself right in this room. And I see Paul Stoddard lying there on the floor, bloodied and dead. And you, Liz, standing over him. Now, isn't that a scene depicting evil? The murderess and her victim. Did you think you were an evil person that night, Liz?
I don't remember feeling much of anything. Just sort of a numbing shock.
No, because what happened that night was not something you planned, was it?
No.
No, it occurred because, well, of circumstances. Because if I thought you had planned it, Liz, if I thought you were evil, I never would have helped you. But I did help you. And because I helped you, am I to be considered evil? I knew that what I was doing wasn't right, but then I didn't feel that it was wrong, because I knew where the evil was. Paul Stoddard. You knew it, and I knew it. Perhaps justice was just a bit left-handed that night.
All right, Jason. You helped me that night. I don't know what I would have done. Perhaps I would have gone to the phone and telephoned the sheriff. I don't know what the results might have been.
Prison, Liz. Prison.
Hasn't this house become one? What have I really gained?
Well, now, you were able to bring up your daughter and to live in wealth and respectability. Those are the things I'm responsible for, Liz. Those are the things you owe me for.
18 years ago, I gave you a great deal of money. You've come back and I've given you more.
Well, you were only paying on an insurance policy, which kept you out of prison for 18 years. And if you keep up the premiums, you'll stay out for another 18.
My brother is aware of what's going on. I cannot transfer any more funds to you.
But don't you see, that's why our marriage would be an insurance policy for both of us. There would be no need to transfer anything. Everything would be proper and legal.
You'd take everything.
Oh, no, Liz. Don't you see? Once I were your husband, I could afford to be generous.
I won't do it. You pushed me too far. I won't do it.
All right, Liz. Then you have only one path left open. It's justice time, Liz. Come on, call the sheriff and tell him you have a statement to make. Come on, Liz. Call the sheriff and tell him what you've been afraid of for 18 years. You have quite a choice to make, you know. Now, what's it going to be? Your freedom or those cataclysmic events I talked about?
Marriage to you isn't freedom.
You have a very limited choice.
You're wrong, Jason. I haven't any choice at all.
Dialing the sheriff's number, Liz? Well, good for you. Good for you, Liz. I didn't think you could do it.
What's the matter, Jason? Did I call your bluff?
Oh, no. Oh, no bluff. It's just that before you call the sheriff, I think there is one step we've overlooked.
What's that?
Your daughter, Carolyn.
What about her?
Well, how do you think it's going to look to her when the sheriff troops in here and takes her mother away right in front of her? It's not a very pleasant sight for a nice girl to see, is it? Well, I think it's your obligation and responsibility before you call the sheriff to tell your daughter what you did to her father. Now, what's the matter, Liz? Getting too deep for you? Surely you knew when you took this phone in hand that you were going to have to tell your daughter, too. Well, the time has come to tell her. You can tell her, can't you?
Yes, I can tell her.
Well, then, your problems are solved. And it would be nice to share this terrible thing with someone else.
Share?
Well, of course. Carolyn will want to share the guilt with you. After all, in a sense, you did it all for her.
How can you say that?
Well, it was her security you were protecting that night. I remember you crying, saying her name over and over. Carolyn, Carolyn.
Stop it!
It'll probably bring her closer to you. Tragedy always does. She's a nice girl. I'm sure she'll back you all the way. At least I think she will. One can never be certain how she'll react to the news that you murdered her father.
Jason, leave me alone.
No, Liz, we have to be realistic about this. We have to be prepared. Well, let's see. First, you'll tell her how you did her father in. And then she'll say, all right, Mother, I understand. What else is new? Well, that's what she's going to say, isn't it?
I don't know what she'll say.
Well, that's why I say you have to be prepared in the eventuality that she doesn't take it too well.
I'm prepared to put an end to what you're doing to me.
Oh. Well, I sincerely hope you are, my dear. I sincerely hope you have the strength. Because if she gives you the reaction I think she's going to give you, it's going to rock you back on your heels. It's just possible that announcement can result in Carolyn's hating you for the rest of her life.
That's a chance I'll have to take.
You mean you'd rather do that than enter a marriage of convenience with me?
I'd rather do anything than that.
Well then, suppose you let me fetch her.
Yes, Jason. Do that. Now.
You know, it'll be a very interesting account for her. To hear the details of her own father's murder. Carolyn, there you are.
Hello, Jason.
Your mother sent me to fetch you.
Did she?
Yes. She wants to speak to you.
Thank you.
But could I have just a few wee seconds of your time before you go in to see her?
Why?
Well, I thought I might offer a little friendly advice.
Oh? What is it?
Well, I thought that I might suggest that you be particularly, shall we say, diplomatic when you speak to your mother.
What does that mean?
Well, it's just that she's very much on edge, you know, quite disturbed.
Disturbed about what?
What about the subject on which she wants to speak?
What is the subject?
Well, now, I'll have to let her tell you that. I just thought I'd suggest that you try to be as understanding and as open as possible. You know, try not to be offended.
Offended?
Yes, you see.
What are you trying to tell me?
Well, I just don't want you to get your mother overwrought. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure.
Well, you see, it might be necessary in the course of your conversation with her to differentiate between what is reality and what is imaginary.
Jason, I don't understand.
Well, and please, do me a favor. Don't mention to her that we had this conversation about her. I can assure you, she'd be furious.
I'm sure she would be. Thank you, anyway, for whatever it is you were trying to tell me. Mother?
Come in, dear.
Jason said you wanted to see me.
Yes, I do.
What about?
Something very important.
Mother, you seem upset. What's the matter?
I have to tell you something I've put off for much too long.
You're not going to tell me about the birds and bees, are you?
Carolyn, this isn't any time to be funny.
I'm sorry. I thought it might make you feel better. Please, what is it?
I have to tell you about my life.
Mother, you don't have to tell me anything.
Which will explain why I've lived the way I have. And why I've said and done the things I have.
You sound as though you're about to make a confession.
That's it exactly. A confession.
Mother, if this is upsetting you, you can tell me some other time.
I have to tell you now. If I don't tell you now, I may never have the courage again.
All right, but please, calm down.
We have to go back 18 years, when I was younger and was happy. I believed in living life to the fullest and foremost. But in recent years, my life has been anything but that. Except for you, darling. I have been existing in the shadows of this house.
Mother, I know what your life has been. It isn't necessary for you to remember.
But I have to, Carolyn. It's the only way I can free myself. The only way I can stop punishing myself for the things I've done.
What things have you done?
Well, before I tell you that, You have to know more about your father.
Yes, I'd like to. I never knew him.
Nor did he know you.
Mother, what do you mean? He didn't know me.
Let me tell you about him so you'll understand. I was so in love with your father. I couldn't see, hear, or think. He was so strong and dominating, he kept me continually off balance. I thought he loved me, but he didn't. He never loved me. He never loved anyone.
Mother, this is too painful for you.
It would be painful for you, too.
Why, Mother? I'm not sure I want to hear anymore.
But you must, because it affects you.
No, it doesn't affect me. And I can't go through hearing you tell me something it's not necessary to tell.
You have to know about your father. I can't tell you an important thing until you do. Your father never loved you either.
Mother, please don't tell me anything like that.
It's true. He never wanted you. He thought children represented responsibility and took away his freedom. He seldom even looked at you.
Please, no.
He never held you in his arms.
Please, no.
I don't ever remember seeing him kiss you.
Stop it, Mother. I can't listen to another word.
Carolyn, wait.
I don't know why you're telling me these things, but I know you're not yourself.
Carolyn, he was a terrible man. He was cruel.
Carolyn? I see it went badly.
It did.
Did she tell you about your father?
Yes.
Did she tell you anything else?
I don't know how much there was to tell. She told me what a terrible person my father was.
Nothing else?
I didn't let her go any further.
You mean you never let her finish?
I stopped her. We were both upset. I didn't want to listen to another word.
And that was all she said?
Jason, you once told me things about my father. Good things. Now my mother's telling me bad things. I don't know who to believe.
Well, now, Carolyn, I want you to believe your mother. But you must understand how she feels after 18 years.
Jason, there's something I have to know. And I'd like it answered with all honesty. Did my father ever talk about me?
Incessantly. You couldn't shut him up. You know, he used to carry a small photograph of you in his wallet. And, well, he'd just show it to everyone. Anyone who would look. It was a bearskin rug type of thing.
Did he ever hold me?
Well, now, how was it he used to put it? Let me see. He has such a marvelous way of describing everything so vividly. Ah, yes, he used to say that your weight was no more than 3 tiny pink feathers. Hug you? Of course he did. He used to say you were like a little, oh, what would I say, papoose doll, wrapped tightly in your blankets. And you were like a flower, fragrant with the powders and the oils. And how he used to kiss the little blonde hairs on your head.
Then you'd say that he loved me.
Oh, more than any other woman in the world, including your mother, I'm sorry to say. But knowing how she feels, I wouldn't mention that to her.
I don't understand her.
Well, now, Carolyn, why don't you just forget what she said, Try to remember the good things. Oh, you know, it'd be worth a lot to hear what Paul Stoddard would say if he could see you today.
I couldn't tell her. She wouldn't listen.
Is there anyone you can tell, Liz?
I don't know.
Well, Liz, what next?
I don't know.
And then I'll tell you. We'll make plans for the future.
You'll have to give me time.
Yes, I can give you some time. After all, there are certain legalities to be gotten out of the way. Yes, I can give you some time. But not much.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. Streaks of red, the color of blood, wash the sky that sets the western limits of Collinwood. It is as though the day were dying a horrible death, and the peace the sunset usually promises has failed to penetrate the darkness. The fear that the day could not disperse remains. An already mounting terror continues, unchecked.
I am a Collins, and that means I am a man of my word. You understand that, don't you? I promised the doctor you'd give him a sample of your blood.
No, please, I wouldn't dare.
And why not?
They'll know all about me. I won't let him take it. I won't let him take my blood.
I promised, and I always keep a promise.
Oh, why are you going to do this? You have as much to lose as I do. Please don't. Please.
I'm sorry, Willie. Now you must calm your nerves. The doctor will be here presently.
No. Please. Please.
You sure Willie's going to let you take a blood sample?
Well, Barnabas gave me his word. He said Willie was convinced that he had to cooperate.
Well, Barnabas convinced him before and it didn't work.
I know, but if Willie doesn't cooperate this time, he can be served with a court order. He could be charged, you know, with harboring a dangerous disease. The same one Maggie had.
There's more to it than that. There's more to Maggie's disappearance than a rare blood disease.
Well, of course there is. But my main concern at the moment is trying to understand what I saw in that blood sample. We might see it again in Willie's blood, you know.
And if you do?
Well, if we do, we'll continue examining Willie. It's conceivable that we might be able to identify the disease precisely. And we could find out how he contracted it, where he contracted it. We might even be able to find out...
What? What, Dave?
No, I'd better not say that. I better stick to what I think is possible.
Come on, Dave, tell me. What?
Well, how could diagnosing a disease tell us who took Maggie from that hospital? There's a great deal more than some blood abnormality involved here. At least in Maggie's case.
Listen, Dave. The other day, you used the word impossible to describe what you saw in Maggie's blood sample.
Well, not what I saw, what I thought I saw.
Well, could Maggie's disease or condition or whatever you want to call it, could it have been caused by an animal, a wild animal?
Well, why do you say that?
Well, to be specific, could it have been caused by a wild or rabid dog or wolf?
Why?
Well, when Vicky was staying with Maggie, remember?
Yeah.
She said she heard dogs howling right outside of Maggie's door. Then when we went inside, we found those terrible gash marks in her neck.
None of the tests that were done on Maggie indicated that. Besides, Burke, listen, no dog or wolf got in this office and stole that blood sample. It was a man. A madman who didn't want us to get too close a look at those slides.
Willie.
What?
Willie Loomis. Why didn't he want you to take a sample of his blood?
Now, listen, a lot of people are squeamish, even terrified of having blood taken from them. I'm sorry, Burke. I just can't see Willie Loomis as a possible suspect. Besides, to begin with, he wouldn't have had strength enough to do what was done to this office. Remember the bars on the window?
Even in a crazy state?
Even in a crazed condition.
Well, it was just a thought. Vicky and I are going to have a drink at the Blue Whale. Could you join us later?
No, I doubt it.
I'd like to find out how you make out.
Well, I'll try. But I warn you, it's going to be pretty late.
Dave, this is not just idle curiosity. Unless we find out exactly what's going on, no one is safe. Every time I look at Vicky, I get scared. What if something happens to her?
I know this is strictly a professional call, but I couldn't let you come all the way out here and offer no hospitality at all.
Well, thank you very much. I do have to be getting back to town pretty soon.
I understand that. Willie, Dr. Woodard is here. Willie! Ah, there you are. We shouldn't keep Dr. Woodard waiting. You know, he's a very busy man.
Do I have to?
Now, Willie, look at it this way. This could, in some remote fashion, help Miss Evans. And it may help you. Now, unknown to yourself, you may have some very tragic malady. Now, the doctor only wants to help.
Sit down, Willie. This'll just take a minute. Believe me, you're not going to miss the little drop of blood that I take from you. Now, give me your hand. All I need's the tip of your finger. Well, you won't even feel this. Just look the other way. All you're going to feel is a little prick of a pin. Come on.
No, please.
It may be some comfort to you to know that a great many people share your dislike for giving away your blood.
Now, in a way, isn't that understandable? After all, blood is the life force. It reaches in to the deepest recesses of both the heart and the brain. It is the familiar of our complete being. To surrender even one drop of it is to suggest a partial surrender of one's utmost self.
Oh, it didn't hurt that much.
I shouldn't have let you do it. Come on.
Give me your hand now.
Now, you had no choice.
Come on.
Now, pour the doctor another drink.
Oh, really? No, thanks. I have to be getting back.
Oh, please, just a little. Willie?
I'm not what you'd call a great wine drinker, but I must admit this is excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willie.
That will be all, Willie.
Now, the doctor and I are both very grateful for your cooperation.
Yes, we are. And don't you be embarrassed now by being frightened. I understand.
No, you don't understand.
Willie, that will be all. May I see the slide?
Oh, yes, of course. There isn't much to see unless it's under a microscope. Just hold it on the side.
Thank you. It's like a delicate little flower painted on glass.
Yes, even under the microscope, it has a certain beauty. The intricate structure of the cells and great variety of color and shadings.
Yes.
I guess some of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen in my life have been microscopic views of hideous malignancies.
Well, I hope poor Willie doesn't provide you with such an experience, thrilling though it may be.
Of course.
And yet, to be honest, you would like to see on that slide a repetition of what you saw in Miss Evans' blood, wouldn't you?
As much as I regret to say it, yes, I would. It's a terrible thing to say you hope somebody has an illness, but I can't help it. If this slide shows what I hope it does, it could, in its own way, lead us to Maggie.
Oh? How?
Well, if we can diagnose it accurately, if we can find out where and how Willie contracted the disease, if we could even prove some connection between Maggie Evans and Willie.
But you don't really suspect that Willie's involved, do you?
No, not really. But if the blood sample showed some marked similarity, well, obviously we'd have to go on looking for other connections. We'd have to look very carefully.
Well, I must say that I hope that Willie has nothing to do with what's happened to that young girl. I would find it extremely difficult to accept it, even in my imagination. But, as you say, I hope that we may have some clue, even if it means that Willie has to provide it.
Mr. Collins, I wonder if I could ask you to keep Willie around the house here until I've finished examining the blood.
I understand. You are afraid of contagion. He won't leave the house until I hear from you, one way or another.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Doctor, please be careful.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, from what I've heard, a very dangerous man is interested in what you're trying to do.
So it would seem.
I was told that the man who broke into your office is of tremendous strength.
If man is the proper term one should use to describe him.
Oh, and what term would you suggest?
I don't know. Beast, maybe. Although a beast would never do the things that are being done. No, it's the peculiar magnificence of the human spirit that's required to provide the potential for such corruption.
Yes, I know what you mean. Whoever he is, he must certainly be, at one and the same time, more than a man and less than a man.
You seem almost sorry for him.
Sorry? No, I'm not sorry. The truth is, I loathe him. I loathe him very, very deeply.
You sure you don't want to dance?
Thanks, but can't we just sit here?
We have the whole dance floor to ourselves.
Yes. These days, nobody's going out at night if they can help it.
And I want you to do the same thing. Unless, of course, you're with me.
The whole town seems to have barricaded itself inside. It's as though we're in some sort of a siege.
Maybe we are, with a madman on the loose.
Burke, I just can't forget that night that I was with Maggie and heard the dogs howling and went to call you, and then when I tried to get back into it...
Okay, let's just try to forget about it.
Well, I just can't forget those gashes on her neck.
Vicky, stop it. Now, come on, we agreed to forget about it for a change.
You're right. Maybe we should dance.
Good idea. Hey, relax, will you?
I'm sorry, I just can't.
We'll try.
Brooke, maybe you should just take me home. It's late and I have to get up early.
Well, the doctor said he would drop by with some news. He said he'd be here later on.
Will it make that much difference if Willie's blood sample corresponds to Maggie's? Will that find her?
This may be a link to Maggie, even if we don't know exactly what it is.
I wish I could see it that way.
What is it?
Listen.
What?
Didn't you hear anything? No?
What is it?
It's probably nothing.
Well, you must have heard something.
In the distance. Far away. Oh, Brooke, every time I hear it, it frightens me so much.
What?
A dog howling.
I didn't hear anything.
I probably didn't either.
And even if you did, what difference does it make?
You didn't hear it the night that Maggie was attacked.
Vicky, there are always some dogs raising a ruckus on the farms outside of town.
I know.
And there's no need to get upset every time you hear a dog barking down the road.
I guess I was just being very silly.
No, of course you weren't. I guess we all are a little scared about something or other.
Why don't you play some more music?
Sure thing.
Something good and loud.
No, not a chance. This is going to be soft and soothing. And you're going to listen to it. And you're not going to hear anything. You're going to dance with me, and you're not going to think about anything but that. Come on. It's just an old mutt howling. Come on, relax.
Barnabas, please. Let me go away, far away, please.
But I need you here. You know that.
They're gonna find me.
Find you? Are you lost?
That doctor, he's gonna look at that slide.
Yes, I think he probably will.
And you know what he's gonna see?
Yes, indeed I do.
And they're gonna come and get me.
And if they do come and get you, and if they do ask you several questions, what are you going to tell them?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
I won't tell them anything.
They may appeal to your sympathy for the girl.
I have no sympathy.
They might hurt you, and you know you can't stand physical pain.
I still wouldn't tell them anything.
You would. You know you would.
No, I swear.
But you betrayed me before, and you probably would again.
Never, never.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, absolutely sure. I don't understand. If you're so worried I'll betray, why did you let him take my blood? Why?
Oh, Willie, you have so little faith in me, don't you?
Faith?
Did you really think that I would betray you?
What?
Did you think that I would be more unloyal to you than you are to me?
I am loyal.
And you think that I am not?
I only know you let him take my blood.
Yes, I let him take the blood.
What's that?
A delicate flower painted on glass.
You switched the slides. You changed them.
You forgot that I paid a visit a few days ago to a doctor's office. Any number of innocuous blood slides were made available to me at that time.
And the doctor, he won't find anything?
Let's say he won't find anything very important.
And they won't come after me?
Did you think that I would let them come after you?
Oh, no. No, I knew you wouldn't let anything happen to me.
You knew nothing of the kind.
Yes, I did. I knew you'd protect me.
No, you didn't. You didn't know it then, and you don't know it now.
What?
I protected you then. I may again. And then again, I may not.
Oh, no, you will. I know you will.
We shall see. We shall see.
You didn't see anything?
Nothing unusual.
No trace of what you found in Maggie's blood?
Vicky, Willie's blood is type A, Rh positive, without even a trace of a common cold.
Another dead end.
That's what it looks like. I probably never know now what it was that I saw in Maggie's blood.
You said what you saw was terrifying.
Terrifying?
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Oh, I'm so unsure what I saw. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, you must have seen something, or else you wouldn't have said it was terrifying.
I did see something. That's what made me say that it was terrifying. There was a substance there. A substance that should have been rejected. But Maggie's blood wasn't rejecting it. I had a feeling that I was watching some unholy union going on in Maggie's veins.
Unholy union?
This substance, do you have any idea what it was?
No, that's what I wanted to find out.
Don't you have any idea at all?
Well, yes.
What is it?
Vicky, all I can tell you is that it was something completely foreign. It was as if Maggie were accepting into her blood something inhuman. What it is, we'll never know now.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. Collinwood in the morning sunlight appears to be serene and peaceful. But inside the great house there are those who cannot know serenity, who must be denied peace, because they harbor dangerous and frightening secrets. One woman in particular must endure a life of torment, because she harbors a secret that could destroy her.
I'll get it.
Hello, Liz.
Richard, come in.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Mr. Garner. I didn't know you were coming here today.
Well, I hadn't planned to until I got your mother's phone call. What's the emergency, Liz?
Let's go into the drawing room.
Carolyn, was that Mr. Garner I heard? Yes. And he's here because of some kind of emergency. I don't know what it is. It's probably just something to do with the cannery. I don't think so. I think something's going on. Did you hear Mother last night? No. She was up all night long. I could hear her in her room, pacing up and down. Something terrible is about to happen, Vicky. I can sense it. I feel like we're all sitting on a keg of dynamite. And any minute it's going to explode.
I don't understand you, Liz.
What do you mean?
Well, you tell me to drop everything and get right up here. Now that I'm here, you hem and haw and refuse to get to the point.
Well, I'd like your legal advice on a personal matter.
Well, what is it?
I assume I'm still legally married.
Well, of course. I begged you to start divorce proceedings years ago, but you wouldn't.
Well, perhaps it's time.
Well, it's high time, I'd say.
Would it be difficult for me to get a divorce?
Easiest thing in the world.
As easy as that?
No judge in the world would refuse to grant a divorce to a woman whose husband deserted her 18 years ago.
Would Paul have to be served with papers? I haven't the faintest idea where he is.
No, the law takes care of a case like this. You post a public notice. Then if Paul doesn't appear to protest the divorce, the judge assumes that it's uncontested and it's granted.
How long does it take?
Well, I could see that you're divorced in a maximum of 90 days, perhaps even sooner.
90 days?
Well, I'm sure I could rush it through even faster than that.
Oh, no, I don't care how long it takes. I'm in no rush.
Why are you suddenly thinking about divorce after all these years?
Because I want to break off all ties with Paul Stoddard.
Oh. For a minute, I thought maybe you were considering getting married again.
I am not. Of course I'm not.
Perhaps you should get married again. I've often thought that.
I'm not thinking of getting married. Who would I marry?
Good morning. Oh, didn't realize you had company. I hope I'm not intruding.
Jason, the doors were closed.
Oh, yes, I'm terribly sorry. I'm Jason McGuire.
Oh, Richard Garner.
Garner? Oh, now that sounds familiar. You must be Liz's lawyer.
That's right.
Well, then, I assume you're here to discuss Liz's divorce.
Jason, that's none of your business. I guess we've settled everything we have to say for the time being. Thank you for driving up here.
Oh, of course. Do you want me to start drawing up the divorce papers right away?
I'll phone you.
Well, it's not necessary to make any delay, do you think, Liz?
I'll phone you.
All right. Don't bother to come to the door. I know my way.
Goodbye, Richard.
Goodbye, Liz.
Goodbye, Mr. Garner. It was a pleasure meeting you. A real pleasure.
My pleasure. Goodbye.
Well, Liz, so you decided to start the ball rolling, eh?
I haven't decided what I'm going to do.
Well, of course, you're going to get a divorce. And then you're going to marry me. That's the purpose for the divorce.
How can I marry a man I detest?
Oh, come now, Liz, you're exaggerating. You know, you're much fonder of me than you pretend to be.
I loathe the sight of you.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Because I'm so very fond of you.
Don't say that, because it isn't true.
Well, no. Would I marry a woman I wasn't fond of? And we're going to get married, Liz. And we're going to be happy. Very happy.
Hello, Liz.
Hello, Roger.
Join me in a brandy.
Yes, thank you.
Good. Well, you can't say I didn't earn my salary today. That office was in complete chaos. All of the secretaries are staying home because of these attacks that have been happening. They're afraid to leave their houses. We were terribly understaffed, and even I had to help out with the clerical work.
Did you?
Well, everybody did.
Thank you.
Everybody, that is, except your friend, Jason McGuire, who didn't even bother to come into the office.
Well, he said he wasn't feeling well, that he had a slight cold.
Even when he's in the office, he's about as useful as David would be. I can't for the life of me imagine why you gave that man that job.
Oh, let's not go into that.
No, let's not. I don't want any arguments. I'm too tired.
Have they found Maggie Evans yet?
No, not yet. The sheriff, with his usual efficiency, doesn't even have a clue. They've called in the state authorities. They had to. The town is in an uproar.
Roger,
Yes?
I have something to tell you.
Well, what is it?
I saw Richard Garner this afternoon, and I'm thinking of going ahead with the proceedings for a divorce.
Why, Liz, I'm delighted to hear it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you should have done that years ago.
Well, apparently I won't have much trouble getting one.
Well, congratulations. Well, you'll be free and clear of that scoundrel if he ever shows up here again.
I doubt that he would ever show up.
Well, you'll be prepared for him if he does. You won't have any legal ties on you.
That's right.
I'm delighted, Liz. Really delighted.
So am I.
We didn't have much luck with marriage, did we? Neither one of us.
No.
Well, perhaps we're people who never meant to be married. Both of us.
I wouldn't say that.
What?
I wouldn't say that I wasn't meant to be married.
Yes, but you've always maintained that your marriage was one of the worst mistakes of your life.
I was talking about one marriage, not marriage in general.
Well, still, you feel the same as I do. You wouldn't consider a second marriage.
Oh, I might consider it.
You would?
If I met the right man under the proper circumstances.
Well, you amaze me. Never thought I'd hear you talk like this. How would you marry again? Who would you marry? You haven't seen anyone outside of this family for years, by your own choice.
I know. And I was speaking hypothetically. I don't expect to marry again.
Well, it even amazes me that you would consider the possibility.
It isn't a possibility. A woman gets lonely, that's all I meant.
Liz, are you hinting something?
No, of course not.
Well, it sounds like you are.
Well, I'm not.
Liz?
Oh, good evening, good evening.
Well, the invalid.
Well, I still have a slight cold. I wonder if I might have a sip of your brandy for medicinal purposes.
Well, I'm surprised you ask. You usually make yourself so completely at home.
Well, only because Liz makes me feel so welcome here. So much a part of the family.
Whose family?
Well, Liz's family, of course.
Liz may consider you a member of this family. I certainly don't.
Well, you know, you just may have to change your opinion about that.
What do you mean by that?
Ask Liz.
Liz, what's he talking about?
I'm sure I don't know, and I have to see Mrs. Johnson about dinner.
Vicky, would you ride into town with me? I have to pick up some things at the drugstore.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I promised David that I'd read to him.
Please. I'm afraid to drive into town alone. I'd feel much better if you'd come with me.
Of course. You shouldn't go alone. I can read to David later.
Do you suppose they'll ever find Maggie Evans?
I'm beginning to doubt it.
That madman, whoever he is, must have gotten to her and taken her away with him from the hospital.
Frightening thought.
Everything about the things that have been happening is frightening. And I can't help thinking it might have been one of us. And who's going to be next?
Carolyn, please don't talk about it.
Well, I can't help thinking about it.
Neither can I.
Well, here you are, kitten. Well, I've got some news for you. Either your mother has taken leave of her senses, or I have.
What is it, Uncle Roger? What are you talking about?
Well, to begin with, she saw Garner today. She's thinking of starting divorce proceedings against your father.
So that's why Mr. Garner was here.
Well, is it such a bad idea for Mother to get a divorce? Feeling the way she does about my father?
Well, that in itself is a splendid idea. But it's the motive for getting a divorce that astonishes me. Either I've lost my mind, or your mother was hinting, and hinting very strongly, that she's thinking of marrying again.
Mother?
Yes, she was making all sorts of schoolgirl pronouncements about being alone and needing someone. I could scarcely believe my ears.
But Mother can't get married again. Who would she marry?
Who is the only man she's seen for months outside of the family? Who's already insinuated his way into this house and now into the family business?
Jason McGuire.
None other.
You must be kidding.
I wish I were.
I can't believe that Mrs. Stoddard would even think of marrying him.
Of course she wouldn't. She detests him, no matter what she says.
All I know is he came into the room when we were talking and hinted very strongly that he was going to be a member of this family very soon, and your mother didn't contradict him.
I can't believe it.
Well, I prefer not to. I prefer to think that either your mother has taken leave of her senses or I have.
I know one thing for sure. My mother wouldn't even think of marrying that man unless he were exerting some kind of pressure on her, threatening her in some way.
Oh, there must be some reason for her behaving this way. He snaps his finger and your mother jumps as though she hasn't a will of her own anymore.
He must have some hold over her. What?
Well, I wish I knew.
Maybe she thinks it's best if you don't know. For some reason of her own.
It isn't best for her to marry that man. Not that I believe she really would do it. No matter what he knows about her, she couldn't go that far.
Well, I wouldn't count on it. She's already let him into this house, into the family business. She might go a step further.
I can't let it happen. I can't.
Well, how do you propose to stop her? She won't listen to you. She has a will of iron when she's not around McGuire.
I'll find out what he knows about her and expose him.
I can't help but think it has something to do with that room in the basement.
The locked room, yes.
Your mother gets terrified whenever it's mentioned. There must be a reason for it.
She has something hidden in there. Something she doesn't want us to see. And Jason knows about it, and that's his hold over her.
Carolyn, you could be jumping to a lot of wrong conclusions.
Maybe. But I still want to see what's in that room. If I could just find the key. I've looked everywhere for it with no luck.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that you haven't found it, considering where it is.
Do you know where it is?
Well, of course. It's on a chain around your mother's neck.
On a chain?
Yes. The nurse removed it when she went to the hospital. It was the first thing your mother asked for when she came back. Wouldn't be at all surprised if that's where it was right now.
I'm going to get that key from my mother. I'm going to get into that room.
She won't give it to you, Carolyn. You know that.
Then I'll steal it from her or break in there. But I've got to find out what's in that room. I've got to.
dare you imply we're going to be married?
But what difference does it make? The entire household will know very soon. I think it's best that they be prepared.
I haven't said yes, and I'm a long way from saying it.
Yes, but you will.
Oh, don't be too sure, Jason. A few years in prison is preferable to a lifetime with you.
Ah, yes. But what about the look on Carolyn's face when she finds out that you murdered her father?
Don't!
I'm sorry to bring up such painful reminders, Liz, but you must be realistic about this.
I am being realistic. I am not going to marry you.
Time will tell. Oh, why don't you sit down? Dear Liz, you look exhausted.
Don't call me that.
Well, why not? After all, you are very dear to me.
Don't, please.
Mother,
Carolyn, what do you want?
please give me the key to the room in the basement.
Don't start all that again.
Well, at least you have to give Carolyn credit for being persistent.
I want that key. Please give it to me.
You know I don't know where it is.
I do.
What?
It's on a chain around your neck.
That's ridiculous.
Mother, I can see the chain. Take it out and show me what's on it.
No.
Then it is where you keep the key, where it's been all along.
Carolyn, if you care for me at all, please stop this.
Mother, don't you see? I'm trying to help you.
Help me?
I know this man has some kind of hold over you, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with that room in the basement.
That's insane.
Well, if I'm wrong, then give me the key and let me find out for myself.
No.
What are you hiding, Mother? What's down there?
I'm not hiding anything. I've told you what's down there. Some things that belong to your father.
I don't believe that. I think there's much more in that room than just some old clothes. Why would you go to so much trouble to hide those?
Because of memories.
Will you give me the key?
I said no, Carolyn.
All right. Then I'll break in there. But I'll get into that room somehow.
I forbid it.
I have to, Mother. I have to find a way to stop Jason from doing the things he's doing to you.
Carolyn. Carolyn, please just let me alone. I beg of you, let me alone.
Carolyn, why do you make so much trouble for your poor mother?
You're the one who's causing all the trouble.
Oh, I am I? You know, Carolyn, I think you should get into that room in the basement.
Why?
Well, if only to prove that I'm not quite the villain you imagine me to be. To prove that there's nothing more there than what your mother said. Some of your father's belongings. I'll even get you the key.
And how do you plan to do that?
Well, simple. I'll just ask your mother for the key.
And she'll give it to you when she won't give it to me.
Well, if I approach her in the right fashion. Just give me a few days, and I'll speak to her when she's not quite so upset.
I don't believe you'll speak to my mother, and I don't believe she'll give you the key.
Ah, no, don't be too sure, Carolyn. Your mother is very anxious for you to accept me.
I don't believe that either, Jason. I don't believe a word you say. And I won't rest until you're out of this house.
Well, now, we'll see about that, dear girl. We'll see about that.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. When hope is gone, there is nothing, and the world becomes an empty void. For one man, the setting sun indicates the beginning of a long, lonely night, haunted by thoughts of his missing daughter.
Hello, Sam.
Hello, George. Any news?
Nothing. Sorry. I wish I had something good to tell you, but I don't.
Oh, well. Well, how do things stand?
Very still, Sam. Not even the FBI has been able to come up with anything. They sent a lot of stuff over to the lab for analysis, but nothing.
What are you saying, George?
Well, Sam, the feeling is very strong that she was kidnapped, but since no demand has been made for money, she must have been kidnapped for some other reason. We still don't even have a clue as to who stole her blood samples from the doctor's office.
What's the official opinion?
Sam, we're beginning to feel that Maggie might be dead.
The thought that Maggie is dead goes through my mind day and night. I can't accept it. I don't think that I ever can.
Sam, my men have double-checked and triple-checked each other. We've looked everywhere. We've talked to everyone. I still don't even have a suspect. Nothing. And I can't tell you how badly I feel about it.
I know.
Sam, we're going to keep going until we do come up with something.
Oh, excuse me, George. Oh, Burke.
Hello, Sam. George? Any news?
No, everything is quiet.
Nothing since I last saw you.
Not a thing. Well, I better be going along. I still have a few things to do before I head home for dinner.
Well, thanks for stopping by, George.
Sam, I wish I could have brought you good news. Maybe next time I will.
I hope so.
So long, Burke.
Bye, George.
Looks like the police think Maggie's dead.
I don't believe that for a minute.
She's been gone too long. I'm not going to see her again.
Sam. She'll be found. I know she will. Hey, who's been cooking for you, Sam?
I don't know. I haven't thought much about it.
Well, think about it. How about coming out with me tonight and let me buy you dinner, a good dinner for a change?
I don't think that I can.
Oh, come on, a steak, a couple of drinks, conversation about anything. We can knock your pet hate, Pop Art.
Oh, thanks, Burke. I'm just not hungry.
Well, come out anyway.
I can't.
Been working?
I put the easel on. That's about as far as I got.
Have you really tried?
Sure. Nothing happens. I just don't feel it.
Sam, look. We all agree. We agree. We don't know how this is going to end. But you got to take care of yourself.
I'll get by.
Maybe if you could get started, fire yourself up. It might work.
Might. I don't know.
You know, if Maggie was here, you know how she would feel about it.
She'd give it to me for not working.
Exactly.
I wish I could get started. I've got that portrait of Barnabas Collins to finish. I had to get that out of the way.
But it'd be great if you could start on that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go up there and do a little work on it. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Maybe up in that creaky old joint. I won't think about, well, what's happening, you know, with Maggie.
Sure. Come on, let's go.
Hello, Willie.
Hello, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Collins at home?
No?
Oh, you, know when he might be back?
He didn't say for sure.
Huh. Why, I wonder if I could see the painting. I'd like to work on it a little.
I don't know what he wants to do about it.
Well, he wants to get it finished, doesn't he?
Sure he does.
Well, the best way to finish it is to work on it, right?
I don't know if you can work on it here.
Why not?
Well, there's so many repairs being done, might get in the way.
Well, I only need a few sittings.
You see, he's pretty busy and all. He's out of town.
Well, if I had some time with the painting, you know, maybe I could finish it. And you want if I take a look at it?
I don't know.
Well, I haven't seen it in a little while. Maybe it'll refresh my memory.
I'm kind of busy.
Well, I'll just take a minute.
I'm not supposed to let anyone in here.
Well, I'm not a stranger. I just want to have a quick look at it.
Okay. Okay.
Huh. Now, let's see. Just a little work in the background. And some on the hands. And I would finish it up.
Well, like I said, I don't know when Mr. Collins can sit for you again.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I can do it right here. And he can make his sittings at his own convenience.
Oh, no, I don't think that'd work out too well. Hey, look. Why don't you take the painting home with you and finish it there?
I want to do that all along.
Well, why don't you take it with you right now?
Good. Look, I'll put it out in the station wagon. I'll be back in a minute for the easel.
Hey, wait a minute. I'll tell you. I'll carry the easel out for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no sense making 2 trips, huh?
Right. Well, my pipe, I must have left it in here. I know I had it when I came in.
Then it must be here.
Oh. I think it, left it on the table over here.
Well, I don't see it. Well, I don't see it anywhere.
Well, strange.
Hey, maybe you dropped it outside.
No, I don't think so.
It's not here.
I must be getting absent-minded. Look, if you find it, keep it for me, will you? I've had it for many years. It's a good old friend.
I'll do that, Mr. Evans. I'll do that.
Thanks.
not supposed to come down here unless you're told to.
Wanted to come down.
You gotta remember to do what you're told. Were you down here a few minutes ago?
I don't want to be up there.
Hey, did you take anything from this room?
I want to be in that room.
You gotta stay in that room. You gotta learn to do as you're told.
Who am I?
You're Josette.
Josette. Josette. Am I Josette?
Yeah, you're Josette. Now, please remember it, huh?
I keep thinking that I'm someone else. Someone else.
Now, you're Josette Collins, and this is your house. Do you understand?
I don't know. I think I am, but I'm not sure.
You are, Josette. You are.
No. No, I can't be Josette Collins. I'm someone else. Someone else.
Now, you better get back upstairs, you hear?
No. No, I don't want to go up to that room.
Now, you better. Barnabas will be here soon, very soon.
Barnabas Collins? Barnabas will be here?
Yeah, that's right. It's almost time. Now, you better get back up there and stay there.
Barnabas? Barnabas Collins? Barnabas? Barnabas?
What is it, Willie? Come closer, Willie. What do you have to tell me?
Sam Evans was here.
What did he want?
I want to see about the painting.
Did you let him in?
I had to.
Stupid fool.
He didn't see anything. He doesn't know anything.
Are you sure?
I swear.
You can't take a chance like that.
He wanted to work on the painting here. I told him to take it home with him and work on it there so he wouldn't come back here.
We can't have people coming in this house.
No, we can't.
It wouldn't do for anyone to find our guest.
No.
Nor would it do for anyone to find me here.
No one will find him.
I'm very vulnerable here. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
I trust that you will never try to take advantage of it.
Never. I swear it.
You know you can't escape me. Ever.
I know.
Then we have nothing to worry about.
belongs to someone. Someone I've got to find. I've got to take it to someone. Got to take it there.
Come in. Ah, Sam.
Albert.
I was curious to see whether you'd taken my advice.
Yep. Went up to the old house and brought the painting back here so I could work on it.
Good. I don't know whether you've had anything to eat since I saw you last, but I'm going to see that you have dinner one way or the other.
No, I haven't had any indeed.
Well, now, got a great sandwich here for you.
Well,
How about a ham and Swiss?
Maybe I could eat something. Okay.
I could have bought you a tuna fish, but...
This'll be fine.
Hey, that's come along very good.
Yep.
Interesting expression on the face.
Yeah. It's one of the most interesting faces I've ever painted. I would suppose to say more challenging, though.
What do you mean?
Well, when I do a portrait, I try to incorporate some element of the subject's character in his expression. I can't get this man's character. The expression on his face seems to suggest many undefined things. No matter how I work over the eyes, they always seem to come out cruel.
Funny, he doesn't seem to be that kind of a man.
No. He doesn't seem to be.
You must continually keep an eye out for that young David.
I'll keep him away.
How is Josette this evening?
All right, I guess.
What do you mean?
She was down here.
She came down the stairs.
Gets harder to keep her in a room.
You may have to lock her in.
She keeps asking who she is. I tell her she's Josette over and over. Sometimes she believes it, and sometimes no.
Bring her down to me. Now. What's wrong?
She's not up there. The door! She must have went out!
That door's supposed to be locked. We must find her immediately.
That's no good.
Huh? Yeah, what's the matter?
See that? Every time I tamper with the eyes, it comes out wrong. Now I'd better stay with another area. And when Barnabas Collins comes for a sitting, I'll concentrate on them.
Yeah, let's take a break. How about some coffee? Should be ready by now.
Fine.
I'll get it. Maybe I'll let you do a painting of me one of these days.
Oh, I'd like to do it.
Well, sometime. Sometime when I need a status symbol. Maybe I'll even let you paint a smile on my face.
That would be something.
Maggie! Maggie!
Maggie's outside the window,
What
standing
is-
outside there. Maggie! Where are you? Maggie!
Sam, I don't see her anywhere.
Oh, she was standing right there, I'm telling you. She was standing right there. Maggie! 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 Maggie!
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. A stillness hovers over Collinwood tonight, but there is no peace in the silence, for it is the silence that precedes a great storm, peace that holds a promise of terror. Far away from Collinwood, one man knew a moment of hope on this night, only to have that hope withdrawn, and despair and further confusion follow in its wake.
I saw her, Burke. It was Maggie. She was standing right outside there, right outside that window.
Take it easy, will
Stop
you?
telling me to take it easy. I know it was her. I know it.
Okay, I believe you.
Why did she run away? Why did she disappear? Did I frighten her when I called out her name?
I don't know.
I couldn't have imagined it, Burke. I couldn't have.
Sam, I don't think you imagined it. Now, Maggie's somewhere in the neighborhood, and the sheriff and his men will find her.
Well, why doesn't the sheriff get here?
Well, he'll be here any minute.
Oh, we can't wait around here. We should be out looking for her. I know she's out there somewhere. I know it.
Where are you going?
Out.
You can't go out there.
Can I?
The sheriff will be here any second.
I can't wait for him. She's out there somewhere, and I've got to look for her and find
Sam.
her.
George.
Burke, well, I got here as soon as I could.
Well, it wasn't quick enough to suit me.
Take it easy.
Well, I had to round up some men. I've got every available man searching the area. If she's anywhere nearby, we'll find her.
You'd better.
Well, why don't you stop arguing with me? You're the one who's wasting time.
I'm sorry, George. It's just that she was so close, and now she's gone.
Well, she can't have gone far, so calm down.
I'm trying to.
All right, now tell me just what happened, exactly the way it happened.
Well, Burke and I were talking. I was standing here. Burke was out in the kitchen making some coffee. And I happened to glance up. And there was Maggie. She was just standing out there.
She wasn't moving or calling out to you?
No, she was just standing there. Like she was almost in a daze.
And then?
Well, then I called out to her and I ran outside, but she was gone.
Well, where did she go?
I don't know. The strangest thing. One minute she was standing here, and the next minute she was gone.
Did you see her, Bert?
No, by the time I looked, she was gone.
Well, then you didn't see anything.
No, but I believe Sam did.
Well, what happened then?
Well, he came back in here and called you.
Well, did you find any evidence that she was here? A footprint or anything?
No, but I know she was there. I saw her with my own two eyes.
Sam, how did she look?
She looked pale. She was paler than I've ever seen her before. She had a pallor that was almost ghostly.
Did she have on the nightgown that she had on when she disappeared from the hospital?
No. She was wearing a dress. Actually, it wasn't a dress. It was a gown. A long, white, flowing gown.
Looked like it was something out of another century.
Another century?
I know it sounds odd, but that's the way she was dressed. I wonder why she was dressed that way.
Yes, that does sound odd. So does the fact that she disappeared into the night.
Oh, but you believe me, don't you?
Sam, I have just one more question, and I'm afraid it's one you're not going to like.
What's that?
Before you saw Maggie out there, had you been drinking?
What's that got to do with it?
Just answer the question.
George, what I saw didn't come out of any bottle. It was real. She was standing right out there. She was so close I could almost touch her. You've got to believe me.
Sam, if there's one chance in a million that you saw Maggie and that she's somewhere around nearby, we're going to search for her until we drop. You have my word for that. You coming, Bert?
You must come with me. You tried to leave me. You must be punished, Josette.
Please.
I dislike having to punish you, but you must come.
No!
Please. You must learn to never leave me. You must stay with me always.
Yes. Always.
You must never go. Just like long ago when you tried to leave me. You must never leave me again.
I want
What do you want?
to be with you.
You should have remembered that tonight. You will remember that after tonight. Come.
No. No, don't, please.
Don't hesitate. Come quietly.
Don't, please.
Oh, don't cry, Josette.
Josette?
That is your name, Josette. The most beautiful name in the world. And you are the most beautiful creature in the world.
Josette.
Why did you forget all that I taught you? Why did you try to leave me?
Josette.
Yes. You must keep saying that to yourself over and over again. You are Josette. Say it.
I am Josette.
Yes. You are Josette, and you will be my bride, the bride of Barnabas Collins.
Bride Barnabas Collins.
And we will be happy together
Happy.
through eternity.
Eternity. Happy.
Do you know how happy we will be? So very, very happy.
Very, very happy.
Do you believe that fully and completely?
Yes.
You look lovely in the moonlight, Josette. So very, very lovely.
Lovely.
Yes. It makes it very difficult for me to punish you.
Happy. Together.
Yes. We will be. We will. You must always believe that. You must never forget it.
I believe.
Perhaps there's no reason to punish you tonight. But if you ever try to escape me again,
I want to be with you.
forever,
Forever.
we will leave this place now and return to our house and home.
Our home.
What is that? Give it to me.
No, don't!
No!
No!
I wasn't touching it!
Paul!
Touch it!
Don't! Paul!
Please, don't mention that name.
Paul!
The world is gone forever. You are Josette
Paul!
Collins. I tried to save you. I tried to appeal to you. But now I must punish you.
You must learn your lesson.
Where?
This is where you will rest until I send for you.
Josette? Josette, it's Willie. Can you hear me? I've come for you.
Willie?
Do you recognize me? Do you know who I am?
Willie?
That's right. Oh, I've come to get you. There's nothing to be afraid of. You just do what I tell you to do. You understand? You wait here. I told you not to be afraid. Barnabas is gone now.
Gone?
For a while. And I won't hurt you. You know that, don't you? You do what I say. Just come with me, huh? That's right. You lie down, rest.
Rest.
Try to sleep if you can.
Dream. Sleep.
That's right.
I had a dream. Terrible dream.
You don't think about it.
He was standing over
Oh,
me.
don't.
And it was in a coffin. It was in a coffin.
Try to forget.
It wasn't a dream. Don't. I wasn't a coffin. I wasn't a coffin.
No. You listen to me. Listen to me. Can you hear me? I'm trying to help you. Don't you understand? Huh?
What is
I'm trying to help you. Listen to what I have to say. Running away was a mistake, a bad mistake.
I had to get away from
You can never get away from him. He'll never let you. And if you try to get away, he'll punish you again. And you don't want that, do you? He'll make it worse.
No.
Okay. Then do what he wants you to do. Be what he wants you to be. You're Josette Collins.
No!
You have to believe that's who you are. It's the only way you'll be safe.
I'm not Josette Collins.
Don't let Barnabas hear you say that. Never let him hear you say that. You don't know how cruel he can be.
I know.
Don't take any more chances. Try to believe you're Josette. Just try.
I can't.
You can! Listen. Listen to the music.
Oh, I hear it.
Huh? It's her music. And you listen to it, and you say to yourself over and over, I'm Josette Collins. Josette Collins.
I'm Josette Collins.
Yes. And I'm going to be the bride of Barnabas Collins.
Bride.
Right. That's right. Whenever you get scared, you listen to this music. You keep listening.
Well?
Bad news, Sam.
You didn't find her?
No, not a trace. We've gone over the countryside with a fine-tooth comb and nothing. If she'd been anywhere near the area, we would have found her.
Now, what do we do?
Well, I'm going to have to call off the men.
You're not going to stop searching for her, are you?
Sam, the men are dead tired. We've searched everywhere there is to search. We've come up with nothing. Not a clue. Nothing.
Have you tried the graveyard?
The graveyard?
Yeah. You know the one up by Eagles Hill? We found it there once. You looked up there yet?
Yes, we did.
You didn't find anything?
Well, there was a moment we thought we had something.
What?
Well, there was a figure moving through the shadows, but it turned out to be nothing more or less than a big dog.
A dog?
Yes, a big, ugly beast.
Oh, every time something happens around here, there's always a dog hanging around.
Sam, the point is there's nothing more that can be done now. But don't think we've given up with the idea of finding Maggie.
You don't think I saw her last night, do you? You think it was all my imagination, don't you?
Sam, would it be so strange if your imagination had been working overtime? You've been worried sick.
You think so too, Burke? You think it was all in my imagination too?
Well, I'd like to believe that you saw her, Sam.
Yeah, but you don't. You're right. I never saw her. Except in my imagination.
Josette Collins. Josette Collins. Josette Collins. Evans! I'm Maggie! No! 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 Bob! Joe! Somebody! 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 No! Somebody! Somebody! Maggie! I'm Maggie Evans! I'm Maggie!
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. Behind a locked door lies a terrible secret. A secret that, if revealed, would alter the lives of everyone at Collinwood. There is one who is determined to know that secret, at all costs.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm going into that room.
Yes, but kitten, how do you propose to do that?
Somehow.
Well, I'm as determined to get into that room as you are, but how?
Carolyn, you might be placing an awful lot of importance on something that has nothing to do with the problem.
If that's the case, fine, but I must know it.
I intend to get into that room tonight. Carolyn, please don't do anything that you're going to regret later.
But how can you get in the room if it's locked?
Well, there are two ways. The first way is to steal the key from my mother. I don't think you're going to do that.
I don't think so either. So I'm left with the other alternative. To break in.
Well, that'll take some doing. Do you want my help?
I'll need your help. Then it's settled. We break in tonight, after Mother goes to sleep.
Liz, I think we better have a fast little chat.
I'm busy now, Jason, and haven't we had enough little chats?
Now, we are in the midst of a minor crisis that requires your immediate attention.
What kind of a crisis?
Your daughter, Carolyn, is determined to get into that room in the basement.
How determined?
So determined that she might even steal the key from you, or batter the door down.
I'll stop her immediately.
No, Liz. Before you do anything about it, let's stop for a minute and give the matter some thought.
What's there to think about? She cannot be permitted to go into that room.
Ah, but can she? Now, your daughter is aware, as everyone else is, that there's something about that room. Now, let's suppose for just a minute that Carolyn gets into that room. She'll find nothing. and she'll communicate it to the others. And then they'll find that their big clue was nothing but a puff of smoke. But now, if they believe that, things will go better for you, won't they?
What are you saying?
I'm saying let Carolyn get into that room.
Why, I can't take that chance.
But, Liz, if I can guarantee that she'll find nothing.
How can you guarantee it?
Because there's nothing to see, unless you know where to look. Now, I think it would be a very good idea for you to give Carolyn the key.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can. Because you'll give it to her after I've been down there to check that room to make sure.
Well, I don't like it.
Now, look, Liz. I'm doing this for you, to protect you, take the pressure off you. Your brother and your daughter are going to get into that room one way or another. And I'm saying let's beat them to it, so they've got nothing to do but apologize.
I don't want their apologies. They're not wrong, you know.
I know that, but they're plunging ahead blindly, unaware of the Pandora's box they might open. I'm telling you, Liz, this is the only way to do it. Now give me the key. Carolyn? Carolyn? Well, now, you're not trying to snub me, are you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Well, believe it or not now, I'm working very hard to be your friend.
Save your energy, Jason. It won't happen.
Ah, won't it? Now, I'm not your enemy, you know.
You're my mother's enemy, and therefore the same to me.
Oh, Carolyn, how wrong you are. As time will tell. I'm more concerned about your mother's well-being than anyone. Her life up to now hasn't been very much, you know. I'd like to see the rest of it become something worthwhile. That's what I'm trying to do.
That would be something to see.
Well, I'm asking you to be more considerate of your mother, to take the pressure off her.
Jason, your hypocrisy overwhelms me sometimes.
Oh. So it's hypocrisy, is it? Well, let me tell you something, Miss Stoddard. I am trying to help your mother, and you won't cooperate.
I never know when to believe you.
And I'll tell you something else. I'm going to prove my sincerity to you. This fictional hold you think I have over your mother, you believe it has something to do with that locked room down in the basement, don't you?
What if I do?
Well, I'm going to see that you learn the truth about that room once and for all.
How will you do that?
Just as I told you, by seeing that you'll get the key.
That would be something to see.
Well, you'll see it. And then we'll see how easily you swallow the word hypocrisy. You can relax now, Liz.
You've been down there?
Yes. Everything's in order.
You sure it's all right?
I'm telling you, everything is fine.
I'm afraid I can't go through with it.
Oh, of course you can, Liz. I'm telling you, don't worry. Now, here. Put this back around your neck.
You want me to give the key to Carolyn now?
No, not quite like that. Let's go them one better.
What do you mean?
Well, I've thought of an idea. There'll be a grand display of our innocence. You take them down into the basement. You unlock the door, and you take them right into that room.
I wish I knew whom to believe.
Never believe anyone who's good at keeping secrets.
On the one hand, I have my mother telling me things about my father, that he didn't love me or care for me. But then on the other hand, there's Jason, who tells me the exact opposite of that.
Jason is a congenital liar.
I know, but he did know my father better than anyone else, and why would he lie to me?
Out of habit.
Which one of them should I believe?
I don't know, kitten. I wasn't around at the time. I was at school when Paul Stoddard was here, but obviously he lacked certain qualities.
He must have had some good qualities. My mother married him.
Well, your mother is not the best judge of men.
Carolyn, maybe she spoke about your father in that way in order to justify her starting the divorce proceedings.
That's possible. But somehow I wish she wouldn't go through with it.
Carolyn, she's got to. Otherwise, Paul Stoddard could march right in here and take over. He has certain legal rights, you know. Although I'm sure your mother would fight it in court.
Yes, she does have to protect herself.
All of us.
But if she does get the divorce...
Well, then she'll be free of one menace and fair game for another. Our house guest.
It would be a terrible thing for my mother to have been deserted in her first marriage and then blackmailed into the second. I can't let that happen. I can't. I've got to find out what it is he has over her.
All right. We'll try. Tonight.
I'm glad you're all here together because I have something I want to say to you. I think it's time that everything be brought out into the open.
Well, I'm for that.
You've all been worried and upset about nothing, and I want to put an end to it.
Mother, it's that room in the basement.
You really think that room is the answer to everything?
I think so.
Well, you must admit, Liz, keeping a room under lock and key for 18 years is bound to invite a certain amount of curiosity.
But doesn't it go beyond that? Don't you think that because of that room, Jason has some mysterious kind of hold on me?
Yes, I do believe that. It has to be proven otherwise.
And you think the answer is going into that room?
I think so.
This is the key.
Is it?
Do you want it?
Very much.
Are you prepared to go downstairs?
Yes.
Prepared for anything you might find?
Yes.
Then I'll open the room.
You mean you'd open the door?
I'm going to open it now. That room may never be opened for another 18 years. So I suggest you come with me to find out what's inside.
Well, this is the chance we've been waiting for. Let's go.
You see, I am proving my friendship.
Are you, Jason? We'll see.
Liz, do you want me to open the door?
No, I'll do it.
You can tell it hasn't been used for years. I'm surprised it even worked.
There.
Mother, you don't have to go in there.
No, Carolyn. Your mother will take you in, and she'll show you everything before we settle this matter once and for all.
Well, your wishes come true. You're in here. And you have my permission to poke in anything you see.
Liz, I know this must be terribly personal to you.
This is what you wanted, and you're having it.
Old clothes.
It's a dusty place. The accumulation of 18 years.
Yes. 18 years of spider webs, too. I wish you weren't here to see this.
Do you think you're going to find what you're looking for?
I don't know, Mother. I don't know.
Junk. Nothing but junk.
If I may say so, I think this is the most pitiful exhibition I've ever seen. You are all subjecting this woman to something that she does not deserve.
Jason, please.
No, Jason is right. This time. What we're doing is wrong. Very, very wrong. I apologize, Mother. Very deeply. I'm sorry.
Forgive me, Liz, for this terrible intrusion.
I understand.
Let's go upstairs.
Yes, let's.
Come on, Mother.
No, you go on, Carolyn. I think your mother wants to be alone for a moment before we close up this room for all time.
All right. I'll see you upstairs, Mother.
Well, Liz, I think you pulled it off rather nicely.
Yes. I pulled it off.
And I think I've sufficiently demonstrated at least one of the many ways that I can be a protection to you. I doubt that you'll hear another word about this room again.
I hope not.
Well, now we've taken care of the past, I think it's only the future that needs tending. They're together upstairs now, Liz. I think now would be the proper time.
Proper time.
To announce our marriage.
Jason.
You can't back out now, Liz. The wheels are turning. I've taken the chains off you. And I think you know what your obligation is to me.
Yes, I know.
That was one of the worst, most embarrassing moments of my life. I feel like the worst heel imaginable.
I put her through something she didn't deserve. I caused her so much anguish. To see those old clothes of my father.
Carolyn, that's the past. It's over. You can't be of any help to your mother that way.
She's right. There has to be another way.
Your mother has something she'd like to say. Something that I'm sure you'll all be delighted to hear.
Now, what is it?
Tell them, Liz.
I've decided that I cannot go on living the life I've been leading. I must remake it the best way possible for everyone's happiness. So I want to say, I want you to know that...
Well, go on, Liz. Tell them what you're planning.
that Jason and I are planning to be married.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
My name is Victoria Winters. The dawn has not yet come to Collinwood, and in the final hours of the night, there are dreams that trouble sleep. But something worse than nightmare grips the final dark. A reality no dream could conjure. A terror in the heart of a young woman that seeks to stun the mind and take away forever even the memory of her name.
Maggie. Yes, Maggie. That's your name? That's my name. I must remember that. Maggie for Margaret. Maggie Evans. Remember. You. I am Maggie Evans. I've got to remember that. You have a father. Yes, a father. His name. Why can't I remember? My name is Maggie Evans. My father. Sam. Yes, Sam Evans. Sam Evans. Remember that. Never forget it. Never. Say it again and again and again. Maggie Evans. Maggie Evans. Maggie Evans. My name. My name. I must remember my name. Josette. Josette. Is that my name? Josette Collins? Yes. My name is Josette. No. No, that's not my name. I must remember my name. It's Maggie. Maggie Evans. Maggie Evans. Remember that. No matter what. Maggie Evans. Maggie. I am Maggie Evans. My name is...
Josette!
Yes. Come in.
Mr. Collins wants to see you.
Thank you. Tell him Josette will be down immediately. I want to brush my hair.
remember now. No matter what. Maggie Evans. Maggie Evans.
How did she seem?
Calm. Quiet.
And she answered right away to the name Josette?
She even referred to herself as Josette.
Promising. Very promising. Perhaps the time I've been waiting for has come at last.
Barnabas?
Josette.
I've been enjoying the music box you gave me. Music is so soothing. It seems to erase all unhappy memories in my mind.
I'm very pleased to hear it. I believe you have some special work to do. I want it completed as quickly as possible. I'm almost sure the time has come.
It'll be done.
I'm delighted that you enjoy the music box so thoroughly. Because I have another gift for you.
Oh?
It was given by one of my ancestors to his bride in celebration of their marriage. But from the day it was made, it was meant for only one. Do you know who that is?
No.
You, Josette.
But I'm...
Yes? What were you going to say?
Only that I'm unworthy of such a lovely gift.
As my bride, you are unworthy of nothing.
Bride?
Yes. The time has almost come. We will be joined for all eternity.
For all eternity?
You look frightened. Why are you afraid?
I can't help trembling a little. I've waited so long.
And all that time will become less than a moment compared to the endless bliss we will share together.
When will all this happen?
Very, very soon.
Today?
Perhaps. But Willie must first complete the arrangements.
Arrangements?
And then the two of us, you and I, Josette, for all eternity.
Yes.
Come. Let me put it on you.
No. No, please.
Why not? It's yours, my dear Josette.
Only after I'm your bride. You mustn't see me wear it before then.
Very well. Then take it with you. Soon the sun will rise, but soon the sun will set again. And I will send for you, and you will come wearing this.
Yes.
Now, leave me for the last time.
The last time?
After this, we will never be apart.
Yes. Never.
Maggie?
What did you say?
I was calling Maggie.
That sounds like a servant's name. But I don't remember one named Maggie.
Forgive me. I forgot. She was here for a while, but now she's gone. Forever.
Who was she?
No one of any importance. Her name will never be mentioned again.
Can't happen. It can't.
I believe you have some very special work to do. I want it completed as soon as possible. I'm almost sure the time has come.
No.
Willie must first complete the arrangements.
It's excellent work. I'm sure you're very proud of yourself. Well, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, you know what you must do just before the sun sets, don't you?
Yes?
Suppose you repeat it to me.
I bring her the gown she's supposed to wear, and then I bring her to you here.
Which will be soon. Very, very soon.
Yeah, but suppose she won't do what she's told to do.
She will. She believes again she's Josette's.
Yeah, but what if...
What if she were only pretending? Don't worry, I haven't given up that idea. But after tonight, there will be no longer any trouble on that.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I have great powers over her now, just as I have over you. But they're not absolute. Otherwise, she would never have tried to leave me.
Yeah, but you've always had power over her and me.
That's true. It's because as long as I am alive, neither of you will ever be completely free of me. But after tonight, I will have no power over her. Because none will be necessary. She will be mine forever. She will not even want to resist. All her complete being will be mine. She won't even want to be that other creature she prefers to be. After tonight, there's no chance of her ever recovering or even remembering who she was. She will be Josette forever, and Josette will be mine forever. Now, are you almost finished?
Almost.
Well, we cannot complete the ceremony without it.
It's almost done.
How beautiful it is, and how sad that so many people are incapable of recognizing its beauty. Are you able to find it beautiful?
No.
Well, I could, you know, give you the ability to see its beauty.
Oh, thanks.
You needn't fear. Now stand aside and let me take a good look at it. Magnificent. When she sees it, my bride will find it quite beautiful. She will recognize it as the object of great longing, and she will weep with joy at having found it at last.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be in your room, Josette.
I got restless. I wanted to walk the grounds.
Now, you can't do that until after tonight.
Well, why not? I'm the mistress here. Why should I be treated like a prisoner?
I suppose you tell me exactly who you are.
Are you being insolent?
I don't know, am I? Maggie?
How dare you call me such a crude, common name?
I'm sorry, I meant Josette.
I think Madame Collins would be more appropriate.
Fine with me, madam.
That's better. Now, I would like to walk the grounds.
All right, I'll take you. But first tell me, I'd like you to take a look at my work. What do you think of it?
It's quite beautiful.
Huh? Did you find it scary?
No, why should I?
Because it's not supposed to seem beautiful until after Barnabas is Major's bride, Maggie.
Don't call me that name. My name is Josette.
Now, what do you think? I'm stupid? You want to get away, then what's going to happen to me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. You think you fool me, but you can't.
I'm Josette. I swear it. All I want to do is
To escape.
Yes, Willie, please help me.
Come on. I'm taking you back to your room, and this time I'm locking the door.
No!
Oh, I've got to.
No, Willie. I've got something to show you.
I don't want to see it.
Look. Look, Willie. Look. Jewels more beautiful than you ever imagined. It's a fortune. A fortune more than you ever dreamed. You can tell just by looking at it. Go ahead, Willie. Touch it.
No.
See how they sparkle?
Please, you gotta go upstairs.
They're yours, Willie. After I'm gone.
You can't go. He'd kill me.
No, he wouldn't. Because you'd be gone, too.
I can't go. He won't let me.
You can go. We can both go. Once he's killed, really killed.
I can't do it.
I can. Then we'll both be free.
I can't let you.
Take the necklace, Willie. Take it. Hold it. Touch it. Wait for me upstairs, Willie. Don't stop! Don't!
And you hear?
Don't listen! Take the necklace. Go upstairs.
Listen to it. It's getting louder.
You won't hear it much longer.
Oh, I can't let you do it.
Willie, please! No.
Oh. Oh.
Willie, we'll be free.
Oh. I have to protect him.
We won't
I can't help.
We won't be afraid.
I have to protect him.
No,
I have to.
Go away! No!
Oh.
No! No!
I can't help it.
Maggie Evans. Maggie Evans. I am Maggie Evans. Yes?
Are you ready?
Come in.
It's time to take it to him.
It's not sunset yet.
Almost. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
So am I.
You'll understand after tonight.
There's nothing I can say. Nothing I can do.
Give in.
Give in.
It'll be easier.
Maggie Evans will really be gone.
Tomorrow you won't care. Come on, it's time. Sun's about to set. You're supposed to wait for him here.
Don't go. Please don't leave me.
I have to. No one else must be here.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.